Hey guys, see this little thing? It's one of my favorites, but back in the day, making your eyes look like this was not so easy. In ancient Egypt, both men and women wore makeup for its supposedly supernatural powers, and as an honor to the god Horus. They paid particular attention to their eyes, but they didn't have the magic wands we have today. Instead, they applied their eye makeup with tiny bones as the wand and a mixture of coal, crocodile dung, water, and honey as the mascara. Gross. Just like the Kardashian goddesses of today, the Egyptians worked a smoky eye in blacks and greens, and they also may have been the originators of the cat eye. Meanwhile, across the sea, Roman philosopher Plato wrote that a woman without a painted face is like food without salt, and so women of his time would be seen rocking blues and greens made from precious stones like ultramarine and malachite. And if you think Frida Kahlo was the first to rock a unibrow, you're wrong, because in ancient Rome, a bold brow was considered the most desirable trait. But later down the line, a completely different look came into fashion when women in medieval times often removed most of their eyelashes and eyebrows because the forehead was considered the most beautiful and erotic feature on a woman's face. Well, I'm sure that was certainly a look, but one I would not want to rock. So thankfully for me, when Queen Elizabeth took the throne, accentuating the eyes was back in style. Women would often tint their brows and lashes using crushed berries and soot from their fireplace since cosmetics were not readily available. That changed thanks to Selfridges on London's Oxford Street when in 1909 they no longer hid beauty products under the counter and started putting them on full display. The early 1900s continued to be a big moment for eyes. In 1916, director David W. Griffith is said to have invented false lashes. In 1916, Eugene Rimmel created the first packaged mascara, and in 1917, Mabel Williams created Lash Browine, which is known today as Maybelline. The first waterproof mascara was introduced in 1938, but was quickly replaced in the 40s by safer versions because the turpentine they used to make it caused harsh skin reactions and had a putrid smell. Women of that era also started performing one of the first beauty hacks. Pantyhose were scarce during World War II, and so women created the illusion of stockings by lining the back of their legs with eyeliner. And speaking of being industrious, Revlon changed the makeup game in 1958 with the introduction of the spiral tip wand. In the 60s, eye makeup took a more colorful turn when greens, whites, and mauves started hitting the shelves. Twiggy's Mod Lash started a cult trend, and her followers could be seen grooming their brows in a dramatic arch. In the 80s, the more is better attitude crossed over to eye makeup as well, taking the colorful creations inspired by the 70s disco era up a notch with golds, pinks, purples, and greens, often extending all the way up to the brow bone. Today, we have hundreds of options for making our eyes stand out, such as lash extensions, brow tinting, and even tattooed eyeliner. And if you have any doubts that we've come a long way in terms of accentuating our eyes, just be glad we no longer have to apply our mascara with tiny bones.